time.
Hey guys, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Miska.
And welcome to Overwatch Central Quick Start Guides. Fairly quick, fairly concise guides going over a hero's strengths and weaknesses, as well as other information such as when to play them and what they work well against. Today we're going over Tracer.
Tracer is an offense hero with great mobility. Her weapons are the pulse pistols. These fire with a relatively wide spread with a high rate of fire and are best at close range. Tracer's first ability is the iconic Blink. There are 3 charges of Blink that each replenish on a short cooldown and can be used however you wish. Blink will quickly move you in any direction you're already moving, so this includes backwards. The second ability is Recall. This allows Tracer to go back in time to where she was 3 seconds ago, removing all negative effects and healing back up to whatever HP she had before. You'll only heal if you had more HP before you activated the recall though. Tracer's ultimate ability is the Pulse Bomb. This is a small but effective bomb that sticks to enemies if it lands on them. It deals heavy damage in a small AoE and is only thrown a very short distance from Tracer.
So not only is Tracer the poster girl of Overwatch, she is also an incredibly effective hero in the hands of a capable player. Her weapons are pea shooters at long range, but with how quickly they fire and how quickly they reload, you can have a pretty big damage output, especially if you aim for those headshots up close. This also means that your ultimate charges incredibly quickly. Your blinks enable you to cover open ground quickly in a flash without getting picked off. And if you put a foot wrong and take some damage, you can always recall and find yourself back to where you were 3 seconds ago. Her ultimate will remove most heroes from the battlefield if it lands on them. Sticking it to a support or static setup like a Bastion grouped up with his team is bound to deal a lot of damage to the enemy. Essentially, if you play it correctly, you will be the hero the enemy team will be getting very cross at.
Tracer is a very independent hero. She works best when she's on the flanks, behind enemy lines and so on, so she won't really be able to receive health from her team and has to go for health packs instead. She's incredibly quick and zippy but doesn't need to receive much damage before she is eliminated. If her blinks and recall are on cooldown, she'll be very exposed and dies quickly. Crossfire can be an issue for Tracer if a random rocket or grenade hits her when passing through a choke, but she'll mainly struggle against those heroes and abilities that automatically lock onto you since you lose the advantage of being hard to hit. But we'll get onto that a little bit later.
As Tracer, you want to be harassing the backline supports as much as possible. The easiest to take out, of course, is a lone Mercy who may be making her way back from spawn or just separated from her team. But you can also give bigger targets and tanks like Reinhardt a hard time, as you can disrupt the enemy and mess up their positioning. Keep in mind that the Pulse Bomb currently deals 400 damage though, which isn't always enough to kill a tank in one hit. Also, if you do spot a Widowmaker or Hanzo, you're going to want to get involved and cause issues for them. Widowmaker should be a lot easier to take out than Hanzo, as the Scatter Arrow is a very dangerous ability that can leave you with a sliver of health or finish you off completely. So keep that in mind. You just want to give the snipers a hard time really. In the time that you're harassing these snipers, your team can traverse the open area previously held down by a sniper and hopefully arrive just in time to help you get the kill. Tracer, being one of the few heroes with 150 HP, is still difficult to deal with and can even take on several heroes at once if played correctly.
Earlier I quickly mentioned heroes that have homing weapons, so to say, being a problem for Tracer. Winston and Symmetra will make quick work of Tracer, especially if she's run out of blinks and has used recall already. Symmetra's turrets can deal with Tracer too if there's a group of them set up together. The turrets also slow Tracer, making it harder to maneuver through the sentry turrets and will force you to panic blink at least. McCree's stun is your #1 enemy though. If it hits you, you're almost guaranteed to be dead. Speaking of stuns, if a Roto lands a skillful or possibly just lucky hook on you might also be dead. Worst of the stuns is probably the Junkrat trap though, as it will hold you in place for a while, and together with a concussion mine it will kill you even if Junkrat isn't around. And keep in mind that you can't actually blink or recall out of the steel trap. Just like a few other heroes in Overwatch, Tracer can also be countered by someone just playing the same hero better than you on the enemy team. A better Tracer or even Genji can give you issues, as they are some of the few heroes with mobility abilities good enough to chase you down.
So when should you play as Tracer? Well, similarly to Genji, she suits being on the attacking team, but having a defensive flanker designed to get behind the enemy team and take out those supports, or anybody separated from the group, is a good idea too. Some maps suit Tracer a lot more than Genji and vice versa. Tracer has problems with her vertical mobility, so enemies that are positioned high up are going to be a pain for Tracer to reach. She excels at close quarters combat as well, so having her on a control map isn't a bad idea either.
Our first tip is to reserve a blink just in case you need it. Tracer is a very mobile hero but is a sitting duck with her abilities on cooldown. Not having a blink saved up for a rainy day can be the difference between life and death. There may be situations where you need to use all 3 blinks to jump to a platform or to quickly zoom past a bastion. But just make sure you have a second to at least get 1 blink back before you go and jump into a fight again. Blinking 3 times out of spawn is almost never a bad thing though, and will get you back into the fight quickly. On that subject, try to time your blinks with your weapon reloads. Tracer does a good amount of damage quickly but has to reload a lot of the time, so strafe around with your blinks when you're reloading. Fire your magazine into them, blink and reload at the same time, rinse and repeat. It basically means that you're always doing something and using your damage and blinks optimally. When you get into that rhythm, you will become the most effective and annoying Tracer that you can be. Make sure to throw in a melee attack or 2 as well. Quick melee is great for Tracer. Finally, there are lots of different throwing animations in the game. Mace ult throws itself where you're pointing your cursor pretty much, Junkrat's mine is thrown further forwards than his steel trap, and Widowmaker's venom mine fires out a considerable distance too. So mastering Tracer's pulse bomb takes some getting used to. The easiest thing to do is to get in close and stick any targets close to you. Not only will you most likely get them killed, but it will severely damage anybody nearby as well, which is perfect for those clumped up moments on control maps. But also, it's worth practicing flicking the ultimate for range. Basically flick your camera up as you throw your ultimate and see the range you can reach with it. But as we said, it does take some getting used to.
And that's it for this guide. Thank you very much for watching. Do check out all of the other quick start guides that have gone out over the last couple of months in the description below and on screen now. These are just very basic guides going over the hero's strengths and weaknesses, so do expect to see more in-depth guides in the future. Thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you next time.